past is the past. We're going to leave that there. We're coming off a tough game, and we want to go in there and get back to where we know we're supposed to be. We feel like we have a pretty darn good football team, even though the record don't display that. 2 games to ranked opponents by 10 points in total makes us think, darn, we'll play here, play there, we get it going. TCU at that point in time had just come off, I think, playing the national championships, and we had so much fire, fanfare, and athletes, bona fide dogs, and we went and did what we had to do. I'm pretty sure they understand what transpired there, but they're a whole different team, whole different understanding, whole different philosophies of how we both are attacking the game. But, both of us want to win.
Welcome back to TCU week. We've waited about 2+ years for this one. Obviously where it all began. The Buffs are headed back to Fort Worth. And Coach Prime talked about it. Micah Welsh also talked about it. Micah basically said that game is one of the big reasons why he became a Buff. Coach Prime wasn't going to get into all the reminiscing and all that, but the more he talked about it, it was he thinks back fondly on that game, obviously.
No doubt. I mean, he has some memories that will last a lifetime from that game, from that day in Fort Worth, Texas. But it's 2 years later, like you said. This is a much different Colorado football team. This is a much different TCU football team. This TCU football team is going to come in here pissed off. They blew an opportunity kind of similar to the way Colorado did last week. BYU, or not BYU, but TCU lost to Arizona State in a game that they were leading 17-0.
Yep.
Josh Hoover didn't play well, but he has been playing well up until that point. We'll see the status of TCU's wide receivers, but this Colorado secondary, this Colorado defense as a whole is going to have to bring their lunch pail for sure.
The O-line is not a problem. I think running the ball and pass protection is not a problem. I don't know the grades. I really don't go by that stuff or what they say. I don't know who PFF is. I don't even know who they are, where they located, who started them, who's the founder, who established it. I don't know. But I know all our kids are pretty darn good on that offensive line, right? One of the best. Excuse me?
Top 10.
Top 10. It says a lot. That's not the problem.
Coach Prime was asked about the offense and just, how can they be better? Obviously, they started off hot, but really fizzled out. He mentioned the offensive line, really a glowing review about the offensive line.
Yeah.
And straight from Coach Prime's mouth, he said running the ball is not a problem, pass protection is not a problem. We kind of all know what's going on with this offense, but it's clear that there's something that is working that is not yet becoming the identity of this football team, so it's a struggle still at this point in the season.
So if the offensive line is not a problem, Jake, and the running game isn't a problem, and the receivers are really talented, Jake, what is the problem? I'll leave that there.
I'm not going to answer that.
I don't know, bro. I mean, I like this offensive line is great, and that is something that we kind of thought could be the case this offseason with the additions, with the development of Jordan Seaton. Yep. Jordan Seaton is truly one of the best tackles in college football. This is truly, in my opinion, one of the best interior from guard, center, guard, one of the best units in college football as well. I saw some of the BYU kind of reporters after the game talking about that, like that interior, that offensive line for Colorado kind of did what they wanted to a really good defensive line in BYU. And we saw that throughout the first half. Don't know why things kind of changed in the second half, but this offensive line has been a shining point, and they have to be leaned on the rest of the season.
We challenge our guys every week to play the game play by play. Forget the last play, let's go to the next play. That's the life and the thought process and the mindset of a good cornerback. But let me tell you something about good DBs. And I want everybody out there listening to this. This is coming from him. A great DB is only 95%. Let me say this differently. 95% of defensive backs play not to get beat. 5% play to make a play. I'm looking for that 5. The staff is good, man. The staff is good. I mean, I think you can see the bonuses in what Marshall Faulk has brought to the table. What Gunner, Big George, and Big Dre has brought to the table on that offensive line. We've sustaining some injuries because Pecco, Sapp are doing a phenomenal job with the defensive line as well, even though we've been sustaining injuries. We just got to play better at the linebacker position in the secondary. We got to play better.
Coach Prime was also asked about the coaching staff in general, and really he kind of went in depth more so on the defensive backs. Also had a great quote when talking about the mentality of playing defensive back in general, saying that, you know, the 95% are playing not to get beat. They're looking for that 5% who want to make plays.
Yeah.
It's clear those guys have to play better. They've dealt with a little bit of injuries, but overall on the coaching staff, Coach is really happy. You mentioned the offensive line again. The defensive lines obviously had injuries, but he did kind of call out the linebackers. And, you know, if you just watch the games the last 5 weeks, you've seen that really the secondary and the linebackers are the ones who are holding back this defense.
Those two position groups are going to be tested this weekend. And, you know, for the secondary in particular, at the cornerback spot, it does kind of seem like, and this is kind of the gist I got from Coach Prime's quote about the 95% versus the 5%, it does kind of seem like they're just not playing with confidence right now. Like, they're playing timid. Like, to use Coach Prime's word, they're playing to not get beat.
They're literally panicking.
They are. And that just shouldn't be the case when you're as talented as DJ McKinney, as Preston Hodge, and some of those other guys. When you're getting coached up the way you are by Coach Prime, Coach Mathis, and the rest of that staff. So, Jordan Dwyer is a problem for TCU, one of their top receivers. Eric McAllister, we'll see his status this week, but he has a problem. And if you don't get those two guys under wraps, it could be a long afternoon in Fort Worth.
One more day of media. We'll be back tomorrow to talk to more players and coaches, but it's TCU week. We got to get the vibes back up. Obviously, this was a big moment 2 years ago, and this program needs a big win. What better than going back to TCU, stamping your foot down, and get another dub over the Horned Frogs?
Let's get it.